Gurmagat, Mr. Corla, I welcome the opportunity to speak on the budget. First of all, the increase for pensioners and people with disabilities, you welcome that. Probably would need more, to be quite frank about it, but at least you have to acknowledge it anyhow. I welcome the increase in the carers threshold, but the ideal scenario is that if someone packs up a job or whatever, regardless of what their partner is earning or has, if they're minding someone, it saves the state a lot of money, and I think that needs to be acknowledged throughout this country, the amount of work that's done. It is a step in the right direction. I'm not going to, with the new thresholds of 1,000 and 2,000, but if there are many people that go to their fathers or mothers or their loved ones to help them out, and basically give up their life to look after somebody, and I think that needs to be recognised. In relation to agriculture, I think it's a disappointing budget for agriculture. Yes, there's money for TB, and it's needed, but other than that, you know, and the tillage, what Minister McGonigal gave last year, there'll be that and a small bit with it, but other than that, there's none of the schemes getting any increase. And I would question, where is the €300 a cow that we were hearing in a programme for government? Where is it gone, or is the cow gone, or what's happened? And I think that was badly needed. The one thing in the line of housing, yes, there's a lot of money there for housing, in fairness. The sad part of that budget, when you read the document, affordable housing was never mentioned. So do we say that, people that are working that are on 25,000, or sorry, 35, 40,000, because we all have different areas in Oireachtas, if you go over 30,000, you're not eligible for housing under social housing. But what about affordable housing? What about people, like if you were getting 35 or 40 grand, there's the hope, if you multiply by 4, there's the hope of buying a house in a lot of areas, and I think we have to look at that. But I do welcome the budget for housing. I think the problem is, and I know there's a bill in here at the moment to try and make a roadmap to get through some of the planning issues, because while there might be money there, it's harder to spend it because of the blocks that's put in place. And I think that's, we have to drive them out of the way, to be honest about it, to dose them out of the way, because it cannot go on what's going on with, judicial reviews and all this crack constantly, blocking sort of progress or trying to. Irish Water's budget is, I think it's 1.4 billion. That's their overall budget. It will do some work. But if you're trying to build the numbers of houses that's been talked about, in my opinion, if you haven't roads, sewers and water, you're going nowhere. And that budget is spendable, and, in my opinion, you'd want more up front for a few years to try and catch up with enough of area to make sure that people are left in a situation that you can build houses, because that's a major problem. I know that on the infrastructure side, the N5 is on it again. This is, I think, the third budget is on it. There's a road, I think, in Cork. I want to see the likes of the M20 done. I want to see the road from Milltown heading to Sligo and Donegal. You need that. That needs to be done. You need the road from Kells heading to Monaghan and that sorted. And I do welcome our monies for infrastructure for trains and all of that, because the Western Rail Corridor, as many of you talked about, and I think problems as well needs to be sorted out. Between the Lasses chair or the Lasses constituency and Galway, there was problems with flooding, and the likes of that needs sorting out. But the most difficult part I found of this budget is that the people, as a former Taoiseach said, Mr. Varadkar said, people that get up early in the morning and go to work. Well, a lot of them are. I saw a figure on the paper that they were €70 a week worse off to go to work. Now that's a damnable situation, and in my opinion, they're more worse off than that, for the simple reason: if you're living in rural Ireland and you have 2 cars, the carbon tax will hit you about €170 to €200 a year extra. If you look at between heating your house and driving 2 cars, because while there is public transport and local links here and there isn't, say, for people to Deputy Grealish's or Minister Grealish's to Galway City. If you're from my neck of the woods, you have to drive to Galway. It's not there. There's no point in saying it is. People coming at different times or working at different times. And if they have a youngster going to college, that youngster, I just find it hard to know how someone can say that when you pay more, we have actually looked after you, because if you're going to college, it's going to be €500 more this year than last year. And I know that there was an emergency measure. I understand that, but I would have gone the extra 46 million, I think is what, 92 million altogether is what the whole thing cost last year. I would have gone the 46 million to try and make sure that them people, because bear in mind one thing, the people that are paying the fees are people that are going out working every morning. That's it. There's no point in saying they're not, because they're on, you'll be on 40, 50, 60 grand, and they're going to pay that extra bit. So I welcome as I said earlier in the tillage debate, the piece for the money that Mr. McGonigal gave last year and a few quid with it. But we need to make sure we look after the tillage sector. And in education, we do, like tonight I have the phone there, I've taken a few calls, SNAs, and while I appreciate there is more of a budget for SNAs, that's great, but there are schools at this minute in time that are in trouble for SNAs, and we need to make sure that we address that. Look, we are where we are, and I know that we have to watch stormy waters coming, and I know that there's other bodies that say that money, that we're going a bit beyond our means. I understand all that, but you've got to make sure that people that are bringing in the taxes, that they're looked after as well. And as I said earlier, in the budget, when you look at it, affordable housing is not mentioned in that speech that day. And I think that's an awful reflection. It's not all about social housing. It should be about, I would say, 50-50, in my opinion, that it should be. Because if we don't look after, be it the nurses and the guards and the frontline workers, and as well as that, people that are working in, be it factories or whatever, in any industry, you know, that's what pays the bills to run a country, on top of the bigger companies. So I'm going to leave it at that, Lescan Corlin, and I thank you.
Thank you.